Today I'm going to show you how to configure first card unlock in ACM. This is useful in scenarios where you want a door or maybe multiple doors to unlock on a schedule, but you want to make sure that that building is actually occupied before those doors unlock. So let's jump into the configuration. So after I log into ACM, I'm going to start with schedules. So in this case, we're going to use two different schedules. Our first schedule is going to be our door unlock schedule. So let's jump into that. Now you can see I already have that configured on my system, but let's take a look at the settings. So in this case, I want to unlock my doors Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So once I finish that schedule, I will save it. Now the second schedule that I need to create, here in my system, I have it labeled as first in schedule. This is the time window that we want to use to indicate that the building is occupied. So what I mean by that is if somebody scans their card during this schedule, that means the building's occupied and that it's okay to unlock the doors on the regular schedule. So you can see here, I have very similar time frame. The only difference is that I set this at 7:30 versus 8 o'clock. That way, if people come in before 8 o'clock, it'll still indicate that the building's occupied. Of course, you can adjust this time to meet whatever your individual needs are. So I'm going to save that schedule. Now that I've created my schedules, I'm going to use policies and groups to actually, the policy will make the change to the custom schedule, and then the group will indicate which door or doors that policy will apply to. So let's start first with the policy. So I'm going to go under roles and then to policies. You can see I've already set up my policy. So let's take a look at the configuration involved. So when you create your policy, you're going to want to select the door tab or door selection. That's going to open up the Mercury tab. And now on this tab, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change the custom mode. In this case, we want the door to unlock, and then indicate what the custom mode schedule will be. In this case, front door unlock schedule. Now, when this policy is applied, it will override whatever settings are configured on the door or doors that are indicated by the group that we're going to configure next. But all the other settings will remain the same. So once this is complete, we'll save it. Let's go over to groups. And now we'll create a new group. I titled mine Unlock Schedule Door. And so once you create the new group, you'll have these additional tabs pop up. While we're here, we'll just go ahead and link the policy to this group. So go to the Policies tab. You'll see under Available, you'll see the Door Unlock Schedule policy. So simply move it over to Members and save it. Next, we'll go over to the Members tab. Here, we're actually going to indicate which doors we want this policy to affect. In my case, I only have one door, and I've already moved that over. So once you have selected your doors, simply click Save. So now that we have our group, our policy, and our two schedules set up, it's time to head over to Global Actions and Linkages. So let's start with the Global Actions. We'll go to Physical Access, go down to Global Actions. And basically here we're going to create two global actions. What these global actions are going to do is install the door policy, and then of course we need to uninstall the door policy at the end of the day. So let's take a look at the install door policy. You can see that my type for the global action is policy install, uninstall, and subtype is install. And then you're going to select from your list of policies, move that over to the Members tab, save it. Now, the second global action is basically to turn the policy off. So it's the same as the previous global action, except for the subtype is uninstall. So now that we have our global actions, we need to set up our global linkages. The global linkage will be used to trigger the global actions. So the first one that we have, and really this is the only one that you have to do. The second one that you see here, manually uninstall door policy, that's optional. We'll cover that in just a moment. So the first card, install policy global linkage. Let's take a look here. So when you create this global linkage, you want to make sure that you set the schedule to the first in schedule. Don't set this to 24 hours or basically your doors will always unlock on schedule because your policy will be turned on whenever somebody comes in. So we want to limit this to just the first in schedule. Now once you set the schedule and save it, you have these additional tabs that appear. Let's go to devices. Here we're going to want to select under type, we're going to want to select door. And then here we want to select all the doors where we want this global linkage to work. In this case, I only have one door, so I'm going to just select the front door, move it over to members. Next, we will want to go to events after you save that. Now, what we'll do is scroll through the list and select local grant, and then save it. Now, this next step is optional. If you want your first card policy to work for any card holder, leave tokens blank. Now, if you want it to only work for specific card holders, maybe you want a manager to be on site, and if that manager hasn't presented their card, then the doors aren't going to unlock automatically. So leave it blank if you want it to work for everyone. Add tokens in if you want it to work for specific people. And basically what you would do is you would search for the individual or individuals. And then once they're identified here, you would move them over to members. I'm going to leave it blank because I want it to work for everyone. So now I'll go over to the Actions tab, and I'm going to select the global action that I want to trigger with this linkage. In this case, I want to install the door unlock policy. So I move that over to members and save it. Now let's go back and take a look at that second global linkage. So manually uninstall door policy. What this will do is during that unlock period, if you need to secure the door, perhaps if you're in an office and there's only one person there that day, that person needs to leave for lunch, no problem. They can walk up to the door, present their card, and then that will turn off the policy and put the door back in card-only mode. So let's take a look at how that works. So we'll set up another global linkage. I would again use the schedule front door unlock schedule, just like we did with the previous global linkage. Your device is going to be the same. It's going to be the front door. Your event that you're looking for is going to be a little bit different. So here we're looking for an attempt to open an unlocked door. So when that person leaves for lunch, they present their card. It's going to generate this event, open to unlock door. And that in turn is going to trigger this global linkage. We'll skip over to actions here. And you can see what I've done here is I've selected the uninstall door unlock policy. So now after that's complete, we need a way to disable this policy at the end of the day. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to use the job specification tool. So we're going to go here, drop down to my account, and go to the job specification tab. Now I've already set up this batch job, but let's just walk through the configuration of it. So I'm going to set up a new job specification, which you would do by clicking add here. In this case, I'm just editing my existing one. So under type, you want to make sure that you select global action. And then for your global action on, you're going to select uninstall door unlock policy. So remember, that's the same one that our manually secure global action is triggering, but this is going to happen at the end of the schedule each day. So we'll leave the off global action blank, then we'll go over to next. And then here we want to repeat this weekly. And by selecting weekly, we get the option of selecting specific days. And our unlock schedule is Monday through Friday of 8 to 5 p.m. So at 5 p.m. we want to run this job specification. So I'm going to indicate 1700. And now finally, I'm going to click submit. Now, when you submit this job, it's not activated automatically. So what you need to do is highlight it and then click activate, deactivate. Now, obviously, the first time you click it, it activates. If you click it again, it's going to deactivate. But in this case, I can see here that my job specification is activated. So each night at 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, this job specification will run and it will turn off the door policy. So that's it. Thanks for joining today.